SEKER. Sigh tilde one more defeat, Alex muttered with despair in his voice. Skill issue, Steven commented as he saw Alex lose once more in Elden's ring. Shut up, Steven, Alex shouted angrily before turning off his computer. A loser is a loser, by the way. Your girlfriend tried to call you, Steven stated while washing his hands before dinner. Huh, she is not my girlfriend anymore. Last week, Alex responded, too lethargic to deal with her. Really? Steven said, I thought you two were good, while sitting in the dining hall for their dinner. Well, I caught her cheating, so there's nothing left to say, Alex stated as he walked towards the dining room. However, the instant he entered the dining room door, he lost consciousness. Are you stupid? Stated an elderly man with a white beard and white hair. But father, I was just playing with my powers, the little girl whispered with fear in her voice. You will be grounded for a year, no playing, no sweets, only training. Albert, take her for her punishment and train her, the old father remarked while watching his daughter go with his servant. Yes, master. No, a small child yelled in her whole voice. The old guy considered how to tackle the situation as he looked at the transparent screen in front of him. In Konoha. When Alex recovered consciousness for the first time, he felt his body flutter and heard faint sounds. He tried, but couldn't open his eyes. He slipped back into a deep sleep shortly after. When he fell deeply asleep, his soul entered a specific space. A red-haired woman was looking at a huge fox at the time. Uzumaki Kushina looked at the small body floating in the air, blinked, and asked the huge fox, Nine Tails, is this your child? So, you are a female fox, correct? Kyuubi was perplexed by the child's unexpected appearance. However, upon hearing that phrase, he burst out, how could I have a child? Kushina tilted her head. You've been sealed for so many years. Before Kyuubi could respond, she hit her palm with a look of, I've figured it out. Did you become pregnant before you were sealed? You're extremely enormous, so the other tail creatures may have gotten you pregnant. How long is your mating period? Look at the marks on its face. They are the same as yours. Kyuubi shuddered in wrath, and his hands and feet grew icy. If not for the nails, he wanted to slap her. How did this woman's brain function? Kyuubi took a big breath and exclaimed, I cannot get pregnant. This kid is yours, and that man is outdoors. Really? I have only been pregnant for about 3 months. Wait a minute. Kushina murmured, exiting the confined compartment and turning to the blonde man next to her, who stared at her with concern. Minato, what was the fetus like when it was a 3-month-old? Minato Namikaze was taken aback. The fetus? According to Konoha hospital records, the 3-month-old fetus measures approximately 9 centimeters in length. Facial features have begun to emerge, limbs can be distinguished, fingers and toes have formed, and hair and nails have begun to sprout. Minato paused and questioned, why are you asking so suddenly? Minato had been researching Kushina's pregnancy from the day he discovered it, gathering a wealth of information from Konoha hospital. After several months of research, he had nearly caught up to obstetricians in terms of theory. Kushina dropped her head, one hand resting on her tummy, and beheld her kid in the confined space. I just saw our child. Child? What happened? Minato inquired with concern. You looked dizzy just now. I assumed it was related to the Nine Tails change. Could it be a fetus? Kushina explained what had recently happened and concluded, that must be the child's conscious body. I checked the seal, and while there are symptoms of minor deterioration, it's still in the projected range. I'm concerned about the child entering the sealed space. Minato frowned his brow. It's quite weird. I'll have Mrs. Bawako look into this. I'll bring her to inspect our child. Yeah, Kushina gently responded. Minato's shush subsided, and her awareness returned to the consciousness space. This is Minato's and my child. Uzumaki Kushina gently reached out to the fetus floating in the air, hesitant to touch it. Nine Tails looked at her puzzled. Was this still the red-hot-blooded habanero, who was feared for her personality? Can giving birth to a new life transform a person? That expression, similar to how the old man looked at us. Hey, Nine Tails, Kushina proclaimed, word for word, I will tame you. You will be utilized for the village and this youngster in the future. A merely human, Nine Tails roared. It was to be expected. All humans wanted was to rule over him. In what way could she be like the old man? This fox will surely kill you. Kushina ignored him and concentrated on the tiny life in her palm until Minato and the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and his wife Sarutobi Bawako materialized in front of her. Kushina, how are you doing? Are you okay? Minato inquired first, clearly worried. I'm fine. Kushina turned to face the third Hokage pair after shaking her head. I'm sorry for upsetting you two at such a late hour. Kindly, Mrs. Bawako. At this point, Kushina completed her account of the entire affair, and Sarutobi Bawako concluded her examination. The fetus is very healthy, and nothing abnormal was found. Beside her, Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth to put his pipe in his mouth, but Bawako stopped him. There were no similar occurrences when Mito-sama, when the previous host of the Nine Tails, was pregnant. The third Hokage replied, scratching his beard awkwardly. There isn't a previous instance to refer to Minato. Please keep a watchful eye on Kushina's condition going forward. We cannot afford to act irresponsibly. Sarutobi Bawako gave a nod of concurrence. That's the only way. We won't disturb you both any longer. Sarutobi Hiruzen said his goodbyes after understanding he couldn't help them any further. Sarutobi Hiruzen was now in an advisory state. Minato struggled to gain the trust of the elders, as well as Kaharu and Mito, after becoming the fourth Hokage due to his youth. Of course, interacting with his old friend Danzo was even more difficult. As a result, he decided to stay temporarily to assist Minato and gradually strengthen his authority, smoothing the transition of power. With Kushina pregnant, Hiruzen Sarutobi had no choice but to help Minato and share the burden. Though many people thought he was power-hungry, he was approaching 60 years old and conscious that his strength, courage, and vigor had significantly deteriorated. He only wanted to guide the next generation of Konoha while he still had some peace. After seeing the third Hokage couple leave, Minato returned and tenderly embraced Kushina, assuring her, don't worry, I'll protect you and the child. Minato smiled gently. And you must be the luckiest mother in the world for getting to see the baby ahead of time. Tell me more about the Granny Mito. Kushina couldn't help but remember what Granny Mito had once told her. Being a tailed beast vessel is our destiny to counter the fox's hatred. She needed to fill herself with love. I encountered that person long ago, someone as warm as the sun. Kushina characterized the fetal consciousness while smiling at Minato. Though I can't tell the gender yet, I believe it's a boy. He'll grow up to be an incredible person. Then how about naming him Naruto? Naruto? Thank you for reading. Two happy times are always short. Published by Scribble Hub. Kushina's stomach grew in size with each passing day. During this period, Alex had a general idea of his predicament. According to the anime, he traveled to the Naruto universe and became Naruto before his birth. Is this a direct reincarnation? Alex accepted this situation calmly. Anyway, he was born in California in a New Horizons orphanage. Although Naruto's body is unable to speak or move, his mind is quite active. During this time, he was most concerned about whether Uchiha Obito would cause problems when he was born. Obito pushed his parents to make a sacrifice for Nine Tails to reduce the tailed beast's sealing power in the body. Obito wants to seize the opportunity to unleash Nine Tails and attack Konoha village. Most likely, the goal is to vent rage or resentment. Anyway, in my previous existence, I didn't understand until I saw the ending. What is the significance of Obito unleashing the Nine Tails at this time? Naruto understood that this calamity would kill numerous Konoha ninjas, including his parents, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. He can't do anything right now, though. After all, he is still a fetus, therefore he can't come to let's beat some *T out of Obito. Naruto can now passively receive the nutrients supplied by his mother while also listening to Kushina's comments. Since the first time she encountered Naruto in the awareness space, Kushina has been visiting Naruto's consciousness every day and speaking with him. Probably just say this. Naruto grows up quickly. Both your father and I want to see you sooner. Your father is a super powerful ninja, the fourth Hokage. Mom is also really powerful. See that there is a large vicious fox over there. Your mother can easily fight it. In the background, the roar of a large fox in protest. Naruto, it has been difficult for your mother to create you. You must be obedient in the future. Naruto, Dad has something for me to pass on to you. I don't care if you understand it or not, I want to tell you anyway. What's absurd is that Naruto recognizes it, even if it is an entirely different language. Naruto has gained a great deal of knowledge over several months. For instance, his residence is located in Building 101, Ramen Street, Konoha Village. Additionally, his mother's close friend, Uchiha Makoto, is expecting a kid. Another example, my father's disciple is a masked white-haired dead fish eye Kakashi Hatake. There is common sense in the ninja world that a fetus cannot understand you, but my mother is already planning for the future and who I should be. Is this the way Asian children feel? It seems that my dear mother, this baby will have to study hard before she is born. Did she learn that I was a scholar in my prior life? Naruto almost assumed that the days before his birth would be spent at Kushina's parent-child prenatal education class. Until someday in a few months. Who are you, handsome guy? As soon as Naruto opened his eyes, he noticed a lovely man standing before him. Minato Namikaze, Konoha's fourth Hokage and Naruto's father, has blonde hair, a half circle of orange color on his eyes, and a bright smile on his face. And who activated the sage mode? Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Did I fast forward to Ninja World War after I slept? Naruto's thoughts were muddled. Before Naruto could respond, Namikaze Minato spoke up. Author thought. He is confused because of how Minato arrived in sage mode. Hello Naruto, it's the first time we met. I'm Minato Namikaze, it's your father, this. After saying this, Minato scratched the back of his head, embarrassed. I am likewise a first-time father, with no prior experience. Despite asking the third Hokage and Nisashi-senpai for guidance on how to get along with my kid, and what to say when I see my son for the first time. In short, I will do my best to be a nice father. Please look after me in the future. After saying this, he extended his right hand as if to shake hands with Naruto. Peeved, ha ha ha, Kushina, on the side, was already laughing aloud. Minato appears to be clumsy. She remembers Minato practicing the opening remarks of the first meeting with Naruto, at home a few days before. Minato termed it, the family struggle over the first meeting between father and son. A. Left hand on hip, right hand pinching chin, Naruto, this is our first meeting, and I'm your father. B. Claps his arms over his chest, ha ha ha, as expected from my son. Looks great as well. C. The left hand is claw-like on the forehead, blocking the right eye, while the right hand supports the left elbow. Minato Namikaze, the fourth generation Hokage and the yellow flash of Konoha is your father. D. Hands on hips, smirking, since you ask the question seriously, I shall. Minato practiced dozens of plans, but the ultimate result was a disaster. Minato, Naruto is still young, where would he shake hands with you? Haha, that's true. Minato also recognized that something was wrong. Naruto had already reacted. Minato might have infiltrated the sealed space in some way, to meet him ahead of time. This father appears to be fairly good. Naruto attempted to raise his small hand and gently place it on Minato's hand, which was about to retreat. Minato was so excited that tears almost flowed. Did Naruto approve of me? Yeah, Kushina was also overjoyed, but then her cheeks puffed up again. Really, mommy has been talking to you for so long, and you don't care, and when dad comes, you will say hello. It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. Fair. Saying something, she poked Naruto in the face. Wow, Naruto waved his hands in vain, attempting to stop this deceitful mother while screaming sentences with uncertain meaning. Ha ha ha, Minato grinned and hugged the playful mother and boy. A family of three enjoying themselves, if you disregard the large fox that serves as a backdrop. HMPH, stupid human. I'm a little envious if the old man is still around. 4 generations should have passed since then. Hey, human, how did you get inside? Nine Tails discovered a blind spot. Me, to meet Naruto earlier, I devised a trick, father and mother chakra resonance control. Huh? Although Kyuubi was already aware that Minato was a genius, he couldn't get used to it. What is this guy talking about? In simple terms, it is to improve perception through chakra control, then adapt your chakra to a specific frequency based on Kushina's chakra fluctuations, control the chakra, and then enter through the seal. For this reason, I've been practicing chakra control for a few months. Nine Tails was amazed by the knowledge of Minato. Naruto, in Kushina's arms, said the same thing. My father is fantastic. After a few months of practice, he discovered this strategy when combined with chakra. It feels a bit like the principle that Naruto distributed chakra to the ninja coalition during the Fourth Ninja War. Speaking of which, after you have seriously practiced chakra control, will your unfilial disciple come back to do things in a few months? Will you be able to beat him in one shot? Naruto's sense of security suddenly surged up. Hold on, we can win. At this moment, Naruto's eyes when he looked at Minato were about to light up, and if he looked carefully, it seemed that there were 4 big characters written. Big boss, please take care of me. Single quote. From this day on, Naruto is full of hope for the future life. Also from this day on, Naruto's daily, Kushina's parent-child prenatal education class was changed to the Minato and Kushina's parent-child prenatal education class. Hope it's not an illusion or something. Happy times are always short. Thank you for reading. 3 Obito's Arrival. Published by Scribble Hub. It was an ordinary night, the moon was sparse, and the Konoha villagers were wandering the streets in 2s and 3s. Some had fallen asleep, and some were training in green lights. Ahem, for most people, it was no different from usual. In a secret cave outside the village, several Anbu nervously stood guard at the door. Inside the cave, Sarutobi Bawako and her assistant, Nino Yoshida, stood beside Kushina's bed, nervously instructing and encouraging Kushina, while Minato was always paying attention to the 9-tailed seal on Kushina's body. As Kushina's screams stopped, a baby boy was born smoothly. Why doesn't this child cry? Naruto opened his eyes and found that he was being held in the arms of an old woman. Before he could react, he felt the world spinning as if someone was holding his foot, and then there was a sharp pain in his butt. Who slapped me? Cripple yourself and bow down in front of this young master, or be killed, Naruto cried out spinelessly, trying to act like a young master. The adults laughed at his cute cry. From today, I'll be a father. Minato already cried with joy. He's a very energetic boy. Bawako smiled, hugged Naruto, and gave him towards Kushina. Naruto, Minato shouted and stretched out his hand. Why? But Lady Bawako avoided. Don't touch him. He has to see his mother first, right? Huh? Minato moved his hands away with embarrassment. Naruto, Kushina tilted her head to look at Naruto. Although she has been seeing him every day in the sealed space, this is the real meeting. Naruto stopped crying, opened his eyes wide, and looked at his mother for the first time in his life. Obito is about to come, but what can I even do in this situation? Tilde sigh tilde. Naruto opened his mouth. Ha. I can't speak at all, and the words all turn into crying, and he can't do anything about it. Okay, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Naruto, be good, Bawako said, hugging Naruto and taking Naruto to the side. She knew that the fourth Hokage had to strengthen the seal, so she should not get in the way. Minato, next to him, had already entered the room. He came over and held Kushina's hand. Kushina, although you have just given birth to Naruto, you have worked very hard, but you can't rest yet. Next, you need to strengthen the seal of the 9 tails. Before he could finish speaking, Minato suddenly disappeared in place, blocking a kunai that stabbed Sarutobi Bawako from behind. Who are you? Minato tightly clasped the wrist of the mysterious man in the black robe with the orange spiral mask in front of him. If Minato were not sensitive enough, the consequences would be unimaginable. What a quick blinking technique. You deserve to be called Yellow Flash. The mysterious man, Uchiha Obito's tone was 3-point admiration, 3-point calm, 3-point hatred, and 1-point regret. After all, his personality is relatively narrow, either serious or funny. Sarutobi Bawako took the opportunity to hug Naruto and hide behind Minato, while Nino kicked back with a sharp kick, but the kick was empty. No, only a kunai tied with a few detonating talismans was left in place. Can't let the detonator explode here. Minato vanished instantly with the detonating talisman and appeared in a log cabin outside the village. Then, with the sound of the explosion, the log cabin collapsed, and Minato also instantly jumped outside the house. How is the situation? When Minato returned to the cave, Kushina had disappeared, Sarutobi Bawako was standing beside the bed holding Naruto, and Nino was slowly standing up while clutching her stomach. Fourth Hokage, Kushina was taken away by the mysterious man. We are not opponents. He seems to know that you will come back immediately, so he did not entangle with us. Bawako briefly introduced the situation. Understood, he was here for Kushina, and he chose today, so the purpose is the Nine Tails, and the information was leaked. Next, we have to plan for the worst. Minato had a serious expression, and Kushina was a Jinchuriki. Once the tail beast is lost, many people in Konoha will lose their lives, and once the Nine Tails get out of control, Konoha will suffer huge damage. Minato put his hands on Bawako and Nino's shoulders and activated the Flying Thunder God technique, and the four of them appeared directly in Hokage's office. At this time, Hiruzen was replacing Minato to handle official duties, and he was a little puzzled when he saw three of them and Bawako holding Naruto in her arms. Minato said directly, "This time, it is very urgent. Please ask Mrs. Bawako for specifics of the situation, and Nino will bring Naruto with me." Nino took Naruto from Bawako's arms, while Minato disappeared with the two of them. What the fuck is going on? Sarutobi Hazan asked, could it be that Kushina had an accident? Sarutobi Bawako described what had happened, and the third Hokage's expression gradually became solemn, and he called for Anbu, order, Konoha enters the wartime state, inform all the Anbu to stand by at any time, and immediately organize the civilians below the Chunin to enter the shelter. Now go. Yes, X4. The four immediately split up and sounded the alarm to convey the order. After the alarm sounded, the entire Konoha was operating at a high speed, and the ninjas rushed to their posts. At this time, the Uchiha security force, who was in charge of the security and defense of the village, received the order, protect non-combatants to evacuate. After receiving the order, Fugaku Uchiha immediately started arranging tasks, suppressing the opinions of the clansmen who asked for battle, mobilizing all the fighting forces to execute the order, and even Uchiha Makoto, who was coaxing the child, handed Sasuke to the 5-year-old Itachi and left in a hurry. On the other side, Minato took Nino back home, put Naruto on the bed, hugged him gently, and said, "Dad is going to pick up Mom. I will be back in some time with Mom, so don't worry." Minato turned around and said to Nino, "I have activated the defensive barrier, and Naruto will be in your care for the time being." Yes, Nino knew that her strength would not be of much help, so she could only take care of the child so that the four Hokage of Konoha would have no worries. Minato sensed the mark of Flying Thunder God on Kushina's body and appeared directly beside Kushina, who was tired and was on the ground. Kushina. Minato. Before Minato could say more, Obito had already controlled the nine-tailed giant claw and swung it down, and Minato immediately hugged Kushina and left the place, appearing on a tree a little further away. Oh, the technique of Flying Thunder God? Too late, yellow flash. Quote. However, the couple ignored the mysterious man who was speaking sarcastically. At this time, the sadness and anger in Minato's heart could no longer be suppressed, and the nine tails had already been drawn out, which means that Kushina had little time left. Minimum, is Naruto alright? It's okay, Naruto is in a safe place now. Then, that's fine. Don't think too much, I'll take you to Naruto now. Minato glanced back a little at the mysterious person in the distance, and the city used the Flying Thunder God technique to bring Kushina back home, and gently placed her beside Naruto. Naruto, Kushina's eyes filled with tears, she lay on her side and hugged Naruto gently, rubbing Naruto's small face and body with her cheeks. It won't be long before she leaves the father and son behind. Kushina's heart is full of reluctance now, and she also cherishes this last time to hug Naruto. Naruto can only be in a hurry now, after all, he can't do anything but cry now, is there no golden finger when I cross over? Single quote. On the other hand, Minato watched this scene, tightly clenched his fists, and his eyes became sharp. Nino, please take care of them here, I'll take care of things outside. Yes, Nino, who retreated to the door of the room, didn't talk much and didn't bother the family of three. Minato walked out of the bedroom, put on the ninja bag, put on the Hokage's robe, fastened the Konoha ninja forehead guard, and a special flying thunder kunai, and waved the robe with a hunting sound. He will fight to protect the village as Konoha's Hokage. Nino looked at the 5 characters, 4th Hokage, on Minato's back, and at the firm back, she felt from the bottom of her heart that this man would never lose. A few seconds later, the Minato was prepared for battle and he said in a deep voice, I'll be right back. The 4th Hokage will come soon. Hold on, drive Kyuubi out of the village. At this time, the Konoha village was brightly lit, and the civilians retreated to the shelter in an orderly manner under the arrangement of the ninjas, including Kakashi, Makoto, Anbu and other younger ninjas, and the older ninjas gave ninjas a look, it's not time for your generation to die. Single quote. The battle against the Nine Tails is bound to be very tragic. They must protect the future of Konoha. This is probably the will of fire that Hiruzen often talks about. Nine Tails, controlled by Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan, moved forward step by step towards the center of Konoha and ended their tails to reach the village. The Anbu ninjas released various attacks, such as fire release jutsu and earth release jutsu, etc., against the Nine Tails in batches, trying their best to slow down the speed of the Nine Tails. Nine Tails roared, raised his head and opened his mouth. The terrifying chakra gathered into a dark purple sphere and then sprayed it fiercely in the direction of Hokage Rock. Thank you for reading. For Minato vs. Obito. Published by Scribble Hub. Obito led Kurama back to the village. Kushina was left in the safe house to look after Naruto, while Minato left to defend the village from Kurama. Even before Kurama arrived in the village, some sensed its approach. The young Itachi Uchiha felt something ominous, and his brother, Sasuke Uchiha, began to cry. Kakashi detected a change in the air as he spoke with Might Guy, though he did not know the cause. Hiruzen sensed Kurama while he worked in his office, against the implication. Obito snuck back into the village and summoned Kurama by using it to launch an immediate attack. An Anbu reported Kurama's appearance to Hiruzen, who had already changed into his combat uniform to lead the village's defense. Minato teleported to the Hokage monument to lend his assistance. Kurama immediately noticed his presence and attacked with a tail beast ball, which he sent away with his flying thunder god. Conflict was noticed by the villagers. Minato attempted to locate Hiruzen so that he could tell him what happened, but he was stopped by Obito. Obito started to teleport Minato away, but Minato used his teleportation to escape. Obito followed. From Obito's actions, Minato speculated that Obito was Uchiha Madara, who had decades earlier tried to use Kurama to destroy Konoha. Obito didn't deny Minato's claim, but he did allude to having some purpose behind the attack. Minato and Obito clashed, with Minato after some difficulty, finally managing to strike Obito with the Rasengan. During his attack, Minato was able to brand Obito with the flying thunder god, allowing him to teleport to Obito's location whenever he wanted. He immediately did so to strike again, this time to place a contract seal on Obito that removed Kurama from his control. Injured and deprived of his best weapon, Obito fled, reminding Minato that it was only a temporary setback. In Konoha meanwhile, many of the village's children had been taken away from the village and confined behind a barrier so that they would not be killed trying to protect their loved ones. Meanwhile, Itachi was running through the village with Sasuke in his arms, trying to find their parents. Once free from Obito's control, Kurama tried to retreat from the village. It was pursued by Konoha's forces, led by Hiruzen, prompting it to retaliate with another tail beast ball. Minato returned to the village in time to stop it by summoning chakra chains above it, having chains keep Kurama restrained while he gathered the chakra to teleport it away. Minato took the Kurama to the safe house where he left Kushina and Naruto since it was the furthest away from the village that he could get. After Minato left, Nino retreated to the door to guard, and only Kushina was left in the room holding Naruto and sobbing softly, saying one sentence after another as if she wanted to repeat her entire life in front of Naruto. Naruto stared at her with wide eyes, trying to say something, but he could only utter the meaningless syllables of wah wah. Suddenly time stopped, and an old with white hair and beard appeared in front of Naruto. I can't interfere much, but this will help you. The old man extended his hand and released two glowing white balls that entered Kushina and Naruto, respectively. Goodbye, young one, hope we meet again for a good cause. After saying this, the old man disappeared like he was never there. A few minutes later, Naruto heard a loud bang, guessing that his father used a flying thunder god to transfer Nine Tails into the mountains. A few minutes later, Minato returned home again, looking slightly tired. He picked up Kushina with one hand and Naruto with the other. Let's go. After speaking, he used the flying thunder god technique again. Naruto only felt that the shift in place in front of him came from one place to another place, and a big fox not far away was particularly conspicuous. It seems that from what I recall, this is probably the place where the Nine Tails were sealed, and it is also the place where Minato and his mother died in battle in the original anime. Single quote. At this time, the third Hokage was on his way. Minato said, I'm here to open the barrier. Fortunately, I have practiced chakra control well in the past 6 months to meet Naruto, otherwise, chakra might not be able to support it. I can hold on for a while, saying that Kushina bit her lip, and 5 golden chains stretched out from behind her, crashing around Nine Tails' limbs, torso, and tail tightly. Adamantine sealing chains. The unique power of the bloodline of the Uzumaki family can be used for both attack and seal, and it is especially good at suppressing tail beasts. Usually relying on this trick, Kushina kept the Nine Tails docile. Now the power that erupted at the critical moment is equally powerful, and the Nine Tails can hardly move after the attack. She used her adamantine sealing chains to restrict the beast to a point where it could not move. Keeping in consideration that Kurama is the strongest of the tailed beasts, for a teenage Kushina to restrict him is a massive feat in itself. After that, Naruto saw that the couple started quarreling. That's right, it's a quarrel. Kushina thought that she should drag the Nine Tails to death together so that the Nine Tails would be resurrected after a few years, and Konoha had enough time to prepare and then capture the Nine Tails again. Minato thinks that losing the nine-tailed Konoha situation will be dangerous. The balance of the tailed beast will be broken, and other shinobi villages may take the opportunity to attack Konoha. So let Naruto become the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. But Kushina understands that becoming a Jinchuriki itself is life-threatening in the process of sealing. Even if it succeeds, it means being isolated, feared, and treated with indifference. She has felt this way herself, so she can't bear to let her son experience this again. While he is just born, the amount of pain he will suffer is unimaginable. Thank you for reading. 5 Sacrifice War. Published by Scribble Hub. Minato insisted on his own opinion. He believed that Naruto might be the child of prophecy, that Jiraiya-sensei said. If he can change the world of ninjas, Naruto will survive and become a great ninja. As a parent, you should trust your son. As the person involved, Naruto, of course, Minato feels that he can survive well. As for being isolated or something, third Hokage and other ninjas with some knowledge don't care about these things at all. As for the people of Konoha, when Naruto is introduced as the son of the fourth Hokage, the villagers will know about him, the son of the fourth Hokage. They will not hate his son or try to blame him after his sacrifices. While Minato was thinking about all this, Naruto was thinking about the most important thing now is to not let his father use the Reaper Death Seal Jutsu. That thing will kill his father, and if the Nine Tails are directly sealed back now, then Mom has a high probability of surviving. Naruto was thinking anxiously here, but Minato had already started to act. He finally persuaded Kushina. I will combine your remaining chakras in a Reaper Death Seal and seal it in Naruto's body so that when Naruto grows up, I can see him again. And I can do this. The only thing is that you will be sealed with him. But if you use that trick, you will. Ah, I know, I'm going to die too, but as a husband and father. Minato put down Naruto and started to seal. Naruto reached out his hand, anxious this time, desperately trying to stop him. This is the last chance. At the critical moment, a thin golden chain stretched out from Naruto's back and tied Minato's hands that were tying the seal. Naruto, X2. Minato and Kushina exclaimed at the same time. After a short period of shock, Kushina laughed softly and said, Minato, Naruto is reluctant to part with you, so let me come. Naruto himself was stunned. Adamantine sealing chains? In this case, Naruto's thoughts moved, and 4 thin golden chains came out from behind and shot directly at Nine Tails. One of them trapped the 2 front claws of Nine Tails, and the other trapped the 2 back claws together. One tied the mouth tightly, and the last tried to tie the Nine Tails together. Kushina couldn't be surprised and hurriedly used her chains to cooperate with Naruto. So with the cooperation of the mother and son, the Nine Tails fell to the ground with a bang like a pig waiting to be slaughtered, trapped with a sturdy mouth. Still trying to let out a low growl. It seems that Naruto has inherited your talent perfectly, Kushina. Minato said softly. In this case, I have an idea that may allow you to survive. Seeing that Minato had changed his mind, Naruto quickly loosened the chains that bound his father's hands. Thank you, Naruto. Minato closed his eyes, and when he opened it again, he was already in immortal mode and checked Kushina's situation. As expected, Kushina, there are fewer and fewer nine-tailed chakras left in your body. And your body is getting weaker and weaker. If I have to guess correctly, when these chakras are used up, you will die. Then what if we, in turn, replenish the Nine Tails chakra for you, or even seal the Nine Tails directly into your body? Nice. Naruto couldn't help but want to pat his father on the head for it, as expected of you. But in my current state, it's not enough to suppress the Nine Tails. Even if the seal comes back, it may end up with the Nine Tails. Of course, the full Nine Tails won't work, so what if it's half? Half? That's right, I will use the strongest ninjutsu I've mastered to attack the Nine Tails. You and Naruto will take the opportunity to seal half of the Nine Tails each. I see, Naruto understands. You have to cooperate with mother well. Kushina smiled softly. She would bet everything on her next actions. She trusted her husband, and she also trusted her child. Naruto said, ah, to indicate that he understood, and sent the chain that originally bound Minato's hands into the battlefield. Minato opened his right hand, raised it to the top of his head, and said firmly, I have developed this trick for a long time, and I have never really used it, and I haven't even thought of a name. It was not until the recent progress in the practice of immortality that it was real. If you can use it with confidence, this first use will be a success. At this time, the third Hokage of Konoha Sarutobi hidden was still on his way. Naruto saw a huge spiral chakra slowly appearing in the palm of Minato's, and then 4 wind blades formed around the spiral, constantly spinning and making a harsh sound. Naruto was stunned. I'm familiar with this, it should be the famous Rasengan technique. It's even more amazing to see it in real life. Single quote. No matter what Naruto was thinking, Minato already threw out this move, and the power under the bonus of Flying Thunder God was enough for him to smash this huge ninjutsu into the face of Kyuubi. The fact is as he expected, the super large Rasengan, which was almost bigger than the head of the Nine Tails, exploded on the door of the Nine Tails, turning into countless fine chakra needles of the wind attribute and constantly cutting the body of the Nine Tails. Take advantage of it now. Kushina and Naruto exerted their strength together, using the adamantine sealing chains to pull the body of the Nine Tails like a tug of war. The chains were torn in half. One half went into Kushina's abdomen, which was temporarily suppressed by Kushina with the original broken seal, and the other half went into Naruto's abdomen. Naruto felt his stomach sink, and he was almost out of breath. Then he was picked up by Minato and placed on the altar that had been prepared to assist in the display of the 8 trigram seal. I saw Minato quickly form a few seals, then put both hands on Naruto's abdomen and shout. 8 trigram seal. A spiral sealing technique appeared around the navel, and Naruto instantly felt a lot more relaxed and then fell into a deep sleep. In this lifetime, there should be no need to be an orphan. Naruto fell asleep beautifully, and Kushina hugged Naruto and cried with joy. It's great. I can watch Naruto grow up slowly. It's great. I can continue to be by your side. It's great. It's great. The exhausted Minato hugged his wife and child gently and breathed a sigh of relief. I think I can finally be regarded as a qualified father and a qualified husband. Okay, I'll help you repair the seal next, and then, let's go home. Well, let's go home. At this time, the third Hokage of Konoha Sarutobi was still on his way. Hey, everyone, you can read up to 20 chapters ahead on Patreon. https://patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. 6 Aftermath. Published by Scribble Hub. Thank you, Big Bowser, for becoming a member on Patreon. Shout out to you. Enjoy. Sarutobi finally arrived at the scene and personally escorted the Minato family back. Minato was already exhausted, and Flying Thunder God couldn't be used anymore, so he had to walk back with Kushina. Seeing that Minato completed the seal of the 9 tails, Sarutobi was completely relieved and told Minato to rest and, after confirming nothing major incident had happened, Sarutobi left to arrange the aftermath and to investigate the mysterious masked man. According to Minato, the mysterious man smashed half of his body with his technique, but there was nothing left at the scene except for a big pit and blood. It seems that he used that space ninjutsu to escape, or he was taken away by his accomplices, and he even cleaned up the traces of the battle. Quote. Sarutobi pinched the mustache on his chin, thinking that an enemy could easily break through the Konoha barrier. His face became heavy. Anbu, continue to search and alert the surrounding area. If there is another attack, notify me as soon as possible. If there are no changes, the residents will be notified tomorrow morning to end the evacuation. In addition, the damage should be calculated as soon as possible. Yes. The night finally passed, the birds fell on the treetops and combed their feathers, the autumn sunlight shone through the window on the sleeping family, and the baby who woke up first burst into tears, awakening the couple. It's not that Naruto is ignorant and insists on waking up his parents, but Naruto, wetting the bed. As a baby, Naruto couldn't remember how many in this regard, no matter how embarrassed he was, he had to do it. However, Minato and Kushina were really in a hurry before they realized what was going on. The couple smiled and helped Naruto take a bath and change diapers, and then fed him again. Naruto stared at his parents with wide eyes and found that Minato's face was still a little tired. After all, there was a war and he only slept for a few hours at night. However, Kushina has already got out of bed and was preparing breakfast and doing housework. Should it be said that he is a member of this new family? In his previous life, Alex aka Naruto didn't have parents. He would be lying if he said he didn't want them. Naruto thought about it. My parents had finally survived. I don't know if Obito has managed to escape or died at my father's hands, and I also awakened the signature ability of the Uzumaki clan, the adamantine sealing chains. Hey, is my hair now yellow or red? And without the trouble of the third Hokage, should I be called Naruto Namikaze or Naruto Uzumaki? Thinking of these messy things, Naruto slowly fell asleep. Babies are like this, they sleep a lot, and Naruto consumed a lot of energy yesterday. The adamantine sealing chains should not be used by children. In the original anime, Kushina used a chain when she was 15 or 16 years old. At that time, Kushina chakra was said one of the largest chakra reserves. She almost collapsed after tying 9 tails for a while. How much should chains consume from Naruto? Minato watched Kushina put the sleeping Naruto down on the bed, change clothes without much noise, and say, then I'm going out. I'm afraid I'll have a lot of work to do today. I will take care of Naruto. This time, with the 9 tails rampage, Konoha lost a lot of infrastructure. The most conspicuous thing is that the street opposite Hokage's office was mostly destroyed. However, due to the timely response compared with the original, the third Hokage before Obito attacked Konoha with the 9 tails, received the news and began to evacuate the civilians, and there were few civilian casualties. The casualties of ninjas are also much less. It is worth mentioning that Iruka's parents, Kohari and Akaku, were lucky to survive. Only the Anbu were killed when Obito attacked Kushina, and the Jonin delayed the 9 tails. Pav, Minato. As Konoha's 4th Hokage, Minato does have a lot to do. Looking at the report from the 3rd Hokage about the people of the village, silence fell in the office. The next thing to do is to arrange for civilians to go home and organize people to clean up the damage and prepare for reconstruction. Arrangement of the compensation for the dead ninjas. The memorial service will be set in 3 days. The dead ninjas will be engraved on the memorial tablet as heroes, and their vacant positions will also need to be refilled. They strengthen the defense of Konoha and the borders of the Land of Fire, in addition to being vigilant against the companions of the masked man, but also to prevent other great powers from taking advantage of the situation, especially a person who does not want to be named the 4th Raikage, and always wants to find an excuse to increase the tensions between the borders. Send Kakashi to continue to protect Kushina and Naruto. Kakashi originally asked permission from me to protect Kushina during pregnancy because he wanted him to witness the birth of a new life to dispel the darkness in his heart. Now this has happened. I don't know if this child will be affected, so let him continue the task for the time being. Konoha's perception barrier needs to be improved. This time, the enemy invaded silently, and the 9 tails were channeled in the center of the village. If the enemy made such a move during the war, the consequences would be unimaginable. As for Uchiha, this time the guards played a big role in defending and evacuating the public. It stands to reason that there is no need to increase surveillance, but the Konoha Council may not agree. After all, when the 9 tails were controlled by a masked man, Mangekyo Sharingan eyes were used to attack Konoha, and almost everyone thought it had something to do with Uchiha, and he had to have a good talk with Big Brother Fugaku. The conflict between the Uchiha family and the village must be resolved. End of Pav. Minato quickly signed documents one by one and issued one command after another. Konoha worked like a well-oiled machine. Knock, knock. After arranging the important things, the door of the office was knocked. Please come in. Minato raised his head and saw that the door was pushed open. Then Danzo Shimura, Koharu Utatane, Homura Mitakato, 3rd Hokage came in, and all the Konoha 4 clan heads. Minato put down the document in his hand and asked, 3rd Hokage? All the elders, why are you here? Did something happen? 3rd Hokage took the lead and said, we are here to discuss about what to explain to the public about this incident. After all, some things need to be kept secret and are not suitable for disclosure. Many civilians and genin don't even know what Jinchuriki is. At this time, the 4 clans didn't know about the matter of Naruto being a Jinchuriki, because Kushina was still alive. They took it for granted that the 9 tails were sealed and returned to Kushina's body. After all, the tailed beast was divided into 2 halves to seal the fact it's too unbelievable, and Minato has not decided whether or not to reveal Naruto's identity, so he hasn't told them yet. Minato frowned and thought for a while, then said, I want to publicly apologize to the people for causing such a loss. In the end, it was my duty as Hokage that I failed to defeat the enemy immediately. The 3rd Hokage took a cigarette and exhaled the smoke. No, rather than apologize, I think Konoha needs a hero, and the people now need a hero to inspire people. As Hokage, you should be a hero who sealed the 9 tails, and you did seal the 9 tails. Koharu and Mito nodded in agreement. Only Danzo expressed dissatisfaction, but he was displeased by the words Minato is Hokage by the 3rd Hokage, so he could only snort and leave. As a result, a message circulated among the Konoha villagers that day. Last night, when a 9-tailed demon fox attacked the village, the 4th Hokage decisively ordered the evacuation of the people, and many ninjas desperately tried to buy time, and the 4th Hokage's wife Kushina gave birth to a child that night. Regardless of his physical weakness, he joined hands with the 4th Hokage to fight 9 tails, finally sealed it and saved Konoha village. For a time, the popularity of the 4th Hokage and Kushina soared, and they were called a hero couple, and their sons also became the sons of heroes. After Naruto heard the news from his parents, he silently complained in his heart, what are the heroic couples called? Let's just call them the legend of Fox and Heroes. 3 days later, the sky was gloomy and it was raining lightly. People were mourning in black clothes with white flowers in one hand and umbrellas in the other hand near the memorial monument. Naruto was also carried out by Kushina. Next to Kushina was a white-haired masked man holding an umbrella with expressionless eyes, and Kushina, who was usually full of energy, had an unusually serious expression today. Hokage has already set off ahead of schedule, and today's memorial ceremony is presided over by him. In addition to the relatives of the deceased, representatives of major families will also attend, and some people voluntarily want to meet the hero. Naruto felt the heavy atmosphere of the scene in Kushina's arms, listened to the desolate cries of people, and finally had a preliminary understanding of this cruel world. There is never a shortage of battles here, and there are always many deaths here. There will be all kinds of tragedies here, and here. It's not my favorite anime that I have seen. It's real life, not an anime where you only watch. If not strong enough, next is your death waiting for you. Hey, everyone, you can read up to 20 chapters ahead on Patreon. https://patreon.com/imxno. I will be grateful if you can share your thoughts, and valid criticism is welcomed. Thank you for reading. Naruto, The New Beginning Greater Than 7, Kakashi. Published by Scribble Hub. 7, Kakashi. 1 month later. It's been a month since the end of the nine-tailed demon fox's attack. The village gradually regained its calm. When people mentioned the nine-tailed demon fox after a meal, they were full of fear, but fourth Hokage came in front of their eyes. For a month, Naruto was completely accustomed to the current state. Every day he would wake up, eat, **T, sleep and repeat. When he was full, he would look around with wide eyes and then listen to his parents talking about various things, or was forced to accept certain cough things. At the teasing of the unscrupulous mother, the handsome man smiled happily as he watched the mother and son play. Usually, Kushina would also go out to buy vegetables with Naruto. Along the way, he would always get looks from the Konoha villagers. Of course, it was not a bad look. Most of them were admiration and praise. Naruto could always hear it. Words like powerful and hero, and gossip behind the scenes are always heard by the parties as passive skills of Konoha residents, and good things are no exception. Kushina didn't pay much attention to these. As his mother walked, she would stop and say hello with a smile when she met an acquaintance. Slowly, Naruto got to know the wives of Nara, Akimichi, and other families, including his mother's close friend Uchiha Makoto, but unfortunately, he didn't see Sasuke. On the day of the memorial ceremony, I only caught a glimpse of the child who he suspected of being Sasuke and was held by a boy of 5 or 6 years old, probably Itachi. Naruto originally thought that with Kushina's character, Minato must be the one responsible for cooking at home. Unexpectedly, the carefree and even violent Kushina was a good wife and mother at home. From breakfast to when she will help him tidy up his collar before going out. When Minato came back from work, he gently said welcome back, and then brought the food to the table. Minato smiled and touched Naruto's head. Pat pat. The only thing that can be on the top of the house at this time, before dinner, 14-year-old Kakashi was brought in through the window and thrown into the living room and then ordered to wash his hands and eat. Naruto watched with a smirk on his face, and Kakashi's dazed look was quite cute. Of course, Kakashi is not that kind of casual person. You can't tell him to come in and eat, and he just doesn't want to be embarrassed in front of his sensei. He tried to struggle when he was pulled by Kushina, and then, he was dragged by chakra chains that Kushina created to drag him. On the third day, Kakashi learned to be smart. He tried to hide to avoid embarrassing himself in front of his sensei. Then I saw Kushina close her eyes and sensed him and still jumped out of the window to find him accurately. Kakashi was brought back again. On the 4th and 5th days after that, Kakashi resisted many times to no avail. In the end, he had to knock on the door and enter the house by himself as soon as it was time for dinner. As for face, and what kind of face do you need when you wear a mask? On the contrary, when he sees the red-haired woman, he can't help but be afraid of her again dragging him for dinner. Speaking of which, her cooking is quite delicious. Kakashi thought. Of course, this was done by Minato. He instructed Kushina. Minato felt that letting Kakashi stay in Anbu would only fuel the darkness in Kakashi's heart. Probably only a carefree character like Obito could stop him from falling into the darkness a little bit, but Obito became one of the reasons for his darkness. Kakashi at this point is very suitable for the protection of Kushina and Naruto, and another child named Mighty Guy seems to be very suitable. In short, let's start by asking Kakashi to come to the house for dinner every day. Sometimes Kushina also goes out. It is said that she went to the barrier department to help improve the Konoha barrier or something, and she would ask Bawako or Nino to take care of Naruto. When it comes to things like barriers and seals, Kushina is the strongest in Konoha, whether it is Sarutobi Hiruzen, who claims to be proficient in all of Konoha's ninjutsu, or Danzo, who is claimed to be the third strongest ninja in the village. Naruto has no dissatisfaction with his current life. After all, he was just an orphan in his last life. He just wanted to have an ordinary job after graduation and just live an ordinary life. Now that I'm a baby, I don't worry about eating or drinking, but I get bored occasionally. For a month, Naruto also consciously tried to see if he could meet the 9 tails, but he never succeeded. Maybe the seal was too strong. Now, Naruto's only wish is to grow up quickly and become stronger. He lacks a sense of security in this world. The calm days passed by like this, and the atmosphere at home was warm and beautiful every day. Even Kakashi, who had always been cool, had changed a little bit without knowing it. At least he would occasionally take the initiative to say a few words at the dinner table. Sometimes he would look curiously at Naruto in the swaddling clothes and pinch Naruto's face. Minato was very pleased to see Kakashi's changes, while Naruto watched Kakashi's changes. Just wanted to slap him. Ouch. Don't pinch my cheeks, Donut King, Naruto thought angrily. I don't know if it was an illusion. When Naruto opened his eyes wide and wanted to stare at Kakashi, he seemed to see Kakashi smiling faintly. In the blink of an eye, it was another day, and Naruto was lying in the bed bored, waiting for the adults to pinch him in the face after eating, but the atmosphere at the dinner table today didn't seem right. Minato put the bowl on the table and said, the situation in the village has not been very good recently, and there is more and more friction between the border of the Sanagakure and Kumogakure. Kushina also stopped and asked, why? 9-tailed rampage is such a big incident that can't be hidden. After the incident Sand Village and the Cloud Village, they will naturally want to test our losses in attack of 9 tails, and then create an opportunity for an attack on Konoha. Minato's tone gradually changed. He spoke with a heavy tone. The Sand Village is fine. The last war they fought against us had many losses. They are still not able to recover from that, and now it should be powerless to provoke a war. But from Cloud Village, I can't say for sure. The Land of Lighting. Kushina didn't like the Land of Lighting. After all, it was the people from that village who kidnapped her when she was a child. If it wasn't for the third Hokage saving Mei at a critical moment, she wouldn't want to know what would have happened to her. Naruto, who was eavesdropping next to her, also didn't like the Land of Lighting either. When watching anime in his previous life, he always felt that the author was alluding to a certain country, advocating force, unreasonable with technology like chakra cannons. See, if you have any chance to obtain power or secret techniques, you have to find a way to grab it. Kakashi, who had been silent all this time, said, Minato-sensei, let me go. Minato reached out his head, rubbed Kakashi's hair, and said, don't worry, the village has already decided to send Senior Orochimaru to the border, and everything will be fine. Let's eat first. Yeah, Kushina and Kakashi responded, feeling a little relieved. Naruto was stunned when he heard the name of Orochimaru. Has Orochimaru also deflected at this timeline? Thinking about the anime, Orochimaru's defection occurred after the death of the fourth Hokage. When the third Hokage returned to power, the third Hokage personally led a team to the research institute of Orochimaru and severely injured him in the process, but finally let him go. What Naruto didn't understand was that since he let him go, why did he send Kakashi, who was Anbu at the time, to pursue him? Afterwards, Kakashi was intercepted by a teenager who was sent by Danzo, who knew how to use Mudden. Could it be that the third Hokage and Danzo acted together? After that, I don't know the exact time, but Jiraiya also tried to persuade Orochimaru back halfway, but Orochimaru did not listen to him and severely injured Jiraiya. That time, Orochimaru was also soft-hearted and did not kill Jiraiya. Alas, Naruto sighed in his heart. Konoha and the others are doing something to grind, and from time to time, they also do some unintelligible tricks. Konoha is secure because of the foundation laid by the first and second Hokage for Konoha's situation to be good today. I hope that my father can get rid of the influence of the third Hokage and be a good Hokage who is wise and strong. This time, Orochimaru was asked to go to the border. It seems that he came from outside the village. He visited Kushina when she was pregnant, and by the way, he also talked with Minato about Naruto's name. It seems that now Jiraiya is either on a mission or traveling abroad. Of course, with his integrity, he may also be attacking the widow's house at night. After a while of silence at the dinner table, Minato raised the topic and said, by the way, Kushina, I'm going to visit Big Brother Fugaku and his family in a few days, and let's go with Naruto. Okay, I just want to chat with Makoto, and I haven't had a good look at Sasuke yet, Kushina said happily. Sasuke, he should be classmates with Naruto in the future, Minato recalled, remembering that Sasuke was also born this year. Yes, the first time I saw Sasuke, I thought it was a girl. That child is really cute. Kushina laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, Minato also laughed. Uchiha, Kakashi kept his left eye silent, thinking of his dead friend. Let's go to the memorial monument in a few days. Hey, everyone, you can read up to 20 chapters ahead on Patreon. https://patreon.com/imxno. I will be grateful if you can share your thoughts, and valid criticism is welcomed. Thank you for reading. 8. The Uchiha Clan. Published by Scribble Hub. The next day, a family of 3 went out together. Today Minato is wearing the Konoha ninja uniform with a Hokage robe over it. He is handsome, especially when he puts on the Hokage robe. In Naruto's impression, there are 2 most badass scenes of Minato in the anime. One is when he just puts on the Hokage robe and says with his back to the camera, I'll be right back. The other when he pressed Rasengan on Obito to the ground, and said, Rasengan. It's not surprising that even with very few appearances, Minato was one of the fan-favorite characters in Naruto. After a while, the streets of Konoha have long returned to the bustling streets of the past. The recent small friction on the border of the Konoha has not had any impact on the civilians. Along the way, both pedestrians and street vendors greeted the family of 3 excitedly. They were quite prestigious. Minato and Kushina responded with a smile. They finally arrived at the Uchiha clan, and Naruto observed it. Except for the red eyes that the guard used on them to inspect, the civilians in the clan seemed to be no different from other villagers, even if they were patrolling. When the guards of the Uchiha clan saw the Hokage family, they also stopped to say hello in a proper manner, without showing any arrogance. Naruto shook his head, wondering why the clan developed to the point of extinction. After walking around, he finally arrived at the door of Sasuke's house. Itachi, who was sweeping the floor, hurriedly said, Hello, Lord Fourth, Aunt Kushina. After speaking, he glanced at Naruto curiously and then looked away. Naruto thought, this guy must be thinking, not cuter than Sasuke or something. Itachi, is Big Brother Fugaku at home? Minato smiled and touched Itachi's head. Yes, please come with me. Itachi put down his broom and led the Minato family through the gate. When he entered the living room, Naruto was still stunned. It was too big. He had just passed a large yard, turned through the corner, and walked through a long corridor. Naruto also caught a glimpse of a single training arena with targets hanging on it. The arena is worthy of being the house of the patriarch of Konoha's largest clan. This area is too large, and his family's house is only a 3-story building, which is far from this kind of wealthy family. After arriving in the living room for some courtesy, Kushina carried Naruto and followed Uchiha Makoto to the bedroom to see Sasuke. Itachi also followed, leaving only Minato and Fugaku to talk alone in the living room. According to Naruto's observation, Uchiha Fugaku can only be said to have straight facial features and a serious, natural character face. At first, Naruto wondered how he gave birth to 2 such handsome sons and then glanced at Uchiha Makoto. These 2 children should be with their mother. The architecture and decoration style of Sasuke's house is Japanese style. At this time, Sasuke, who is less than 1 year old, already has his room. There are all kinds of small toys on the ground. The most beautiful thing is that in addition to the family emblem of Uchiha, there is also a calligraphy work on the wall, which reads, Masashi Kishimoto. One above all of Naruto. Little Sasuke was lying on the bed at this time, not knowing if he was woken up by the sound of the door opening. He opened his eyes wide and tried to turn over. Ah, so cute. Kushina had already run over to Sasuke in 3 or 2 steps, put Naruto next to Sasuke, and then reached out and touched Sasuke's head. Makoto said with a smile, Naruto is also very cute. He has golden hair and blue eyes, exactly like the 4th Hokage. Yes, although Naruto used the chakra chains when he was born, it stands to reason that he should have perfectly inherited the talent of the Uzumaki family from his mother, but his hair color and pupil color still follow the father's clan, and he did not show with the red hair of the Uzumaki family. It can only be said that Minato's genes are so terrifying. Little Sasuke, this is my son Naruto, and I want you to be a good friend in the future. Naruto too, get along well with Sasuke. Sasuke has noticed the little yellow hair beside him. I don't know if he recognized his half-brother. He was about to turn over and press Naruto. Naruto tried to reach out and push him away while thinking, bullying you will be fun in future. The 2 adults laughed and exchanged parenting experiences while watching the children, fighting, beside the bed. Of course, it was mainly Kushina who was asking and Makoto talking. Among them, there is no lack of the history of the 2 brothers of the Uchiha family. There is a girl named Izumi Uchiha in the clan who has always been very fond of Itachi, but when she hugged Sasuke, Sasuke cried, and when Itachi took over Sasuke, Sasuke laughed immediately. Is Sasuke so attached to brother? They have a good relationship with each other. Yeah, but I'm worried that this child will affect Itachi's girlfriend. Ha 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 tilde. Ha ha ha, that's how it is tilde. The 2 unscrupulous elders glanced at each other, then looked at Itachi in unison, showing their smiles in unison. Itachi, who was comparing the 2 children carefully and concluded that, as expected, his younger brother is cuter, suddenly found himself lying in the middle of his mother and aunt. Although he blushed a little from the playful eyes of his elders, he still insisted on staying to take care of his younger brother. The adults were talking and laughing, the children were playing around, and when Naruto woke up, he was already on his way home. Seeing the expression on Minato's face, it seems that he and Fugaku had a smooth talk. Naruto thought to himself, maybe with his father here, Uchiha wouldn't fall out with Konoha, and Itachi wouldn't have to kill his entire family for Konoha. I just don't know what my father and Sasuke's father talked about. If Uchiha can be perfectly integrated into Konoha in the future, if everything goes well, then the foundation of Konoha will be more stable. If any major incident that will affect him is avoided till he gets strong enough to handle them. By the way, Konoha is very beautiful. Hey, everyone, you can read up to 20 chapters ahead on Patreon. https://patreon.com/imxno. I will be grateful if you can share your thoughts, and valid criticism is welcomed. Thank you for reading. 9. Orochimaru. Published by Scribble Hub. Sorry, this chapter is short. I will try to upload more chapters. Enjoy. 3 years passed in a blink of an eye, and the border friction between the land of lighting and the land of fire gradually subsided. In the end, it did not turn into a war, and there was even a faint intention to ally. As for Sand Village and the land of wind, who have already allied, the reason may be that the power of one tail is too small, and it is not perfect. Even if there is a problem with Konoha, they don't have the confidence to face Minato, let alone others of Konoha like the 3rd Hokage. The person to watch out for in the Sand Village generation is Gaara, who is the same age as Naruto. When he is out of control, Shukaku will go berserk. After a series of actions by his father, Rasa, Gaara's emotions become more and more intense or unstable. The human brain circuits in this world have always been strange, or should I say humans are strange. The biggest incident in the past 3 years was when Orochimaru, one of the 3 legendary Sannin, disappeared and his disciple was planted with a curse mark. After investigation, Anbu discovered equipment for human experimentation in Orochimaru's secret laboratory. Dozens of children were soaked in jars filled with nutrient solution, but only one survived. Since then, Orochimaru has been designated as a traitor, and the danger level is S. The surviving child was finally adopted by the third Hokage. During that period, I don't know what happened. Danzo's elder position was dismissed, and Sarutobi Hiruzen officially retired to take care of the children at school. And Jiraiya was also severely injured when he intercepted Orochimaru. After recovering from the injury, he immediately set off to continue his journey to do research. In contrast, the head of the Hyuga clan's wife gave birth to a girl, not to mention the headlines, and even the hot search may not be able to squeeze in. The turmoil gradually subsided, the village returned to calm, and the reputation of the fourth Hokage continued to increase. Kakashi's generation of ninjas were already 17 or 18 years old, and they could almost be on their own. Whether they were ninjas or civilians, they firmly believed that under the leadership of the fourth Hokage, the village would get better and better. At this time, the home of the fourth Hokage. Minato waved his hand, and a banner unfolded hung on the wall. Kushina waved her hand and popped up the paper bomb that flew on Naruto's head. Kakashi brought out the birthday cake. Happy birthday Naruto, *3. Hee hee, thank you. Naruto smiled, closed his eyes to make a wish, and then blew out the candle. Kushina then grabbed Naruto's shoulders and asked with a smile, tell mom, what is Naruto's wish? Maybe it will come true right away. Naruto showed a naive smile. I hope my mother will give me a brother. What? It turns out that it's just to have a brother. Such a simple wish. Hey, everyone, you can read up to 20 chapters ahead on Patreon. https://patreon.com/imxno. I will be grateful if you can share your thoughts about the novel, and valid criticism is welcomed. Thank you for reading. Naruto, the new beginning greater than 10. Training. Published by Scribble Hub. 10. Training. In the end, Minato broke the silence. Why does Naruto want a brother? Because to my brother, I'll be as gentle as big brother Itachi, and unlike someone who is too lazy to take care of me. Kakashi rolled his eyes and said, sorry to disappoint you, but I can't sacrifice my novels for you. If I had a younger brother, he would be as stupid as Sasuke. Naruto showed a look of excitement. In his previous life, he was an orphan, so wanting a sibling was no surprise. Minato smiled dryly and asked, don't you two have a good relationship? Because of a good relationship, I am tolerant enough, Naruto said with a smile on his face. Until the end of the birthday party, Naruto still failed to receive the gift of younger brother, but received several other surprises. Kakashi gifted a picture book, saying that it was brought back when he went to a village to perform a mission. Naruto opened it excitedly, only to find that it was just an ordinary picture book. He thought it was some kind of wonderful manga. Thinking about it too, if Kakashi dared to gift something strange, he might have to face the red-haired woman beside him. Kushina gave Naruto a small robe, the same style as his father. The difference is that the word written on the back is Naruto's name, Naruto. Minato's gift is a special version of kunai. It has 2 more forks than ordinary kunai. The handle is painted with the flying thunder god technique, and it feels heavy to hold. Naruto put on the robe on the spot, picked up the special kunai, shook the hem of his clothes excitedly, and felt that he was looking nice. The difference between him and his father was only a forehead guard. Suddenly, I wanted to hit the targets. Naruto jumped back a small step and held the kunai in front of him. Well, this thing is a little heavier than the ordinary kunai, which is a bit awkward for a 3-year-old child to handle. But a good start. Fourth Hokage, I want to challenge you. Haha, okay, I'll accept your challenge. Minato smiled and took Naruto under his arm and took him to a relatively spacious living room. Kushina raised her hand happily and said, I'll be the referee. Minato put down Naruto and said, before we start, let me explain the rules of sparring. Before the duel practice begins, you must first bind the seal of opposition, which symbolizes the next battle. Minato raised his index and middle fingers with one hand and placed them in front of his chest. Naruto has a similar pattern. After the pair training is over, we must make a seal of reconciliation, symbolizing that we respect each other. He said, bending his index and middle fingers, and hooking Naruto's fingers. Oh, I remembered it. Naruto put down the kunai. This thing is just a burden if it doesn't work. Okay, then, the rule this time is that as long as Naruto's attack hits, he wins. Kushina stretched out his hand to signal the two to separate, and then shouted, start. The two sides formed the seal of opposition, and then, Minato didn't move. Minato felt that he was bullying his son and couldn't be too harsh, so let him attack. Naruto is, I don't know what to do. I've watched so many episodes of Naruto, but we haven't fought, and I haven't practiced any taijutsu ninjutsu before. Before getting this kunai, they don't let him touch ninja tools. Minato and Kushina seem to think that starting the practice too early is not good for future development, so when Naruto wanted to learn ninjutsu, Kushina taught him to read. Naruto secretly begged Kakashi, but Kakashi refused. He should have, accidentally, revealed the book Kakashi reads to his mother. So Naruto is worried now. What is this move? Suddenly, Naruto has a flash of inspiration. Naruto pounced on Minato. Minato grabbed Naruto's back collar and gently threw him aside. Naruto barely stood on all fours. Naruto stood up and hit Minato's leg with a palm. Naruto's current height is probably about the level of jumping up and hitting Minato's knee, but Minato grabbed Naruto's wrist and gently moved to the side. Naruto lost his center of gravity and almost fell. After standing up, he turned around and kicked, but again Minato backed away to dodge. Naruto opened his arms, jumped up and tried to grab him, but Minato grabbed Naruto with one hand and then tapped a hand knife on Naruto's head. Minato said with a smile, Dad won. Oh, Naruto wasn't too disappointed, and even thought about it. He wanted to beat someone in the future and said, I fought against you, Dad, and I got my lesson to work hard to defeat you. Well, I'm not good with words. At the end of the game, the two sides will seal the sign of reconciliation, Kushina announced at the end of the father-son match. The family of 3 was in high spirits. Only Kakashi's eyes twitched as he listened to Naruto's words to defeat the sensei. This talent for being a shinobi, should it be said that he is the teacher's child for sure. Naruto obediently tied the seal, and took the opportunity to make another request. Dad, I want to practice. Sure. Oh, really? Naruto was overjoyed. The 3-year-old had already been beaten by his father and he could finally start practicing. Let's start with physical training first. It will be very hard. Can Naruto hold on? Absolutely no problem. Naruto vowed to become stronger. Can a little hard work stop me? Eternity later. I'm so tired, I want to rest. The next day, after completing a few laps around his yard, and doing 30 push-ups, Naruto laid on the ground like a dead animal. I'm only 3 years old. Do I need to hurry up to practice body arts, or ordinarily go to school and then wait for the old man Hokage to teach me? Naruto felt that he overestimated his willpower and self-discipline as a normal human. In my last life, I made countless plans for myself, including skipping rope, running, and push-ups, but none of them could last for more than 3 days. Unfortunately or fortunately, however, if he wants to be lazy in this life, his mother will not tolerate being lazy. Unfortunately, his mother's name is Kushina. Today Kushina has changed from her past gentleness and concern for Naruto. She has become very strict. Get up, there are punch training and kick training next. Kushina smacked on Naruto's head. Naruto felt a dull pain on the top of his head, and for a while, he even thought of Garp's iron fist of love for Luffy. Naruto had to get up and punch the sandbag. Kushina explained how to exert force and correct the movements. The scene was very harmonious, like a parent supervising their children's homework. Come on Naruto, it's almost done. Naruto gritted his teeth, sweat dripped down his hair, and endured the pain in his arms and thighs. He punched and kicked the sandbag. When the last kick came out, Naruto felt that his whole person was sublimated. It turns out that I can only endure hardship for so much time. After this relaxation, it seems that the small arms and calves are not his own, and he doesn't want to move when he sits on the ground. Kushina hurried over to help Naruto do the stretching and massage after exercise. Kushina sadly said, Naruto, don't blame your mother for being cruel. You will become an excellent ninja in the future. The current practice is like a ninja performing a mission. You can't easily give up halfway when you start. I know, I also want to become stronger, at least strong enough to protect myself and my family. Of course, Naruto could understand Kushina's painstaking efforts. As human beings, if you don't force yourself, you don't know where your limits are. If you are not hardworking, then you will be a cannon folder in the world, and you have to be strong enough to survive in this world to protect your family and protect yourself. This world is too dangerous. If you don't work hard, you will die, and Naruto is not sure if there is any Ashura chakra in his body. Therefore, it is up to you to become stronger. As for whether it is a matter of being the son of the fourth Hokage and Kushina with the benefit there comes danger. Of course, this life has given him his parents' love that he doesn't experience in his previous life. Kushina hangs up Naruto and beats him. How can you give up so easily if you want to protect this? It is not enough. Break your limits. We will protect you now, but when you face your enemies, they will not show you mercy and then you will regret that you have not worked hard enough. While Minato was thinking about how to train Naruto gently, if he also started teaching Naruto the same as his wife, then he would cause trauma, or his son's personality would be changed drastically in a short period. Maybe I should invite Lady Tsunade to teach Naruto, Minato thought while walking towards his wife. Naruto felt chills down his spine. Is the end near? Single quote. The morning passed like that. Naruto dragged his exhausted body back home to take a bath, waited for Minato to come back for lunch, and then fell into a deep sleep. After sleeping for 2 hours, Naruto got up and moved his sore. Huh? Why aren't my arms sore? Naruto jumped off the bed and found that his waist was no longer sore, his legs were no longer sore, and he was able to walk with strength. Is sleeping so effective? Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. 11. Kidnapping. Published by Scribble Hub. After my morning training session, I felt exhausted, but in the afternoon, I still had enough energy to bounce around. Naruto had gained a preliminary understanding of his body. Did this mean that if he didn't practice, he would wither away? However, there was no training scheduled for the afternoon. Kushina had gone to work and advised Naruto not to overexert himself. He was still too young and could easily get injured. Kushina differed from Uchiha Makoto, who could be a full-time homemaker during times of peace. Kushina served as a vital pillar of the village and had to maintain a certain level of combat readiness. In addition to her daily work, she occasionally embarked on missions. Naruto was now 3 years old and didn't require constant care. Even Kakashi was no longer solely responsible for his protection. Kakashi often took on various challenging missions and had earned the title of Anbu Black Op. Kushina had mentioned that he shouldn't train now and let his body rest. Naruto believed it was wise to follow his mother's advice to prevent him from getting hurt. So, should he read books? Unfortunately, his vocabulary was still limited, and he couldn't even read the perseverance and endurance. With nothing to do at home, Naruto decided to go for a walk. As he strolled through the streets and observed the shops, Naruto couldn't help but think that Konoha resembled a small city. Villagers were quite friendly to Naruto, given that he was the son of a hero. Some even called him Master Naruto, but Minato and Kushina quickly corrected them. Naruto didn't mind, though. He had no intention of being arrogant or domineering just because he was the village Hokage's son. Naruto continued to wander and eventually found himself outside the ninja school. It wasn't surprising to see the school, but he recognized someone at the entrance and greeted them with a smile, third grandpa. In his heart, he wondered why the third Hokage was here when he could be at home with his wife, considering that both of his sons were busy with their own lives. Perhaps retirement had made him a bit lonely, leading him to the school to serve as a caretaker. The third Hokage retracted his foot that had started to enter the school and replied with a smile, "Ah, Naruto, are you out here to play on your own?" "Yes, third grandpa, why are you here?" Naruto knew that there were likely Enbu operatives accompanying him, but they couldn't show themselves openly. "Haha, I'm going to give a lecture to the children later." "A lecture?" "Yes, Naruto, do you know about the Will of Fire?" Before Naruto could respond, the third Hokage continued, patting Naruto's head affectionately, "Where leaves are falling, the fire will continue to burn. The fire will illuminate the village and nurture new leaves." Naruto thought to himself, "Ah, brainwashing has already started," but remained silent. "Haha, perhaps that's a bit advanced for you. Would you like to go inside and take a look?" "Sure," Naruto agreed, having never been inside the ninja school. As Naruto followed the third Hokage inside, the old man continued to impart knowledge. The ninja school was founded by the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. Since its inception, it has nurtured numerous talents for Konoha. Naruto listened intently as the third Hokage shared the history of the ninja school, the heroic deeds of past Hokage, and stories about his parents. The old man seemed engrossed and Naruto realized that sometimes he just needed someone to listen to him, whether or not they responded. Naruto suddenly felt a sense of empathy for the old man. Despite the criticisms he had heard in his previous life, at this moment, the third Hokage appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary retired old man. Days passed with Naruto following a routine of morning physical exercises, afternoon exploration of the village, and a peaceful and quiet life. 2 months flew by, and Konoha had transitioned into the chilly month of December. Unlike the damp and chilled winters of the USA, Konoha's winter was more akin to the dry and physically chilling of Alaska. Each day required an extra layer of clothing when venturing outside. Konoha had hosted the delegation from the Land of Lightning for several days. Negotiations regarding the alliance between the two villages had concluded, and Konoha had scheduled a ceremony for December 27th to celebrate the alliance. It happened to be the third birthday of Hinata Hyuga, the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan. In Konoha, the third birthdays of children were considered significant milestones, marking their transition to more independent individuals. Naruto's third birthday had been more extravagant than the previous two, and the Hyuga family had attached great importance to it. The family attended Hinata's third birthday celebrations on that every day, even skipping village festivals. On this day, Hinata would be formally established as the heir of the main branch, and Neji, a member of the branch family, would be marked as her protector. From that point forward, Neji's life would revolve around safeguarding the main branch's eldest daughter. The cursed seal, also known as the caged bird seal, was the Hyuga clan's technique of protecting their beloved Byakugan while also ensuring that the branch members fulfilled their sacred responsibility as guards of the main house and could even damage their brain nerves, causing death in extreme situations. The seal also possessed the power to seal the Byakugan, ensuring that the Byakugan's secrets remain within the main branch. Curiously, Neji seemed to embrace his role, willingly protecting his cousin. He didn't resent the clan's system and the caged bird seal, at least not at this point. However, Naruto knew from his previous life that Neji's perspective would change dramatically after his father, Hiashi, died. Hiashi would sacrifice himself to remove the caged bird seal from his nephew, declaring it a personal choice to defy the clan's fate. People had their own beliefs and choices. In the village, preparations for the alliance ceremony were in full swing, and Naruto spent his days shopping and eating with Kushina. Meanwhile, the Hyuga clan was busy with Hinata's third birthday celebration, seemingly oblivious to the village's festivities. It was a day when Hinata would officially become the heir, and Neji, despite his eventual resentment, seemed content with his role for now. However, the ninja from Cloud Village had nefarious plans in motion. The following day, a piece of unsettling news quietly circulated in Konoha, shocking news. The kidnapping of the Hyuga clan head's daughter. The leader of the Cloud Village envoys had audaciously kidnapped the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, only to be swiftly confronted and killed by the Hyuga family head, Hiashi Hyuga. Shockingly, the Cloud Village envoy had turned the tables, falsely accusing the Hyuga family of unprovoked murder and demanding Konoha hand over the alleged murderer. The news sparked widespread discussions among the residents. Some sympathized with Hinata's ordeal, others condemned Cloud Village Ninja for their shamelessness, and some feared that this incident could escalate into a conflict. If not handled carefully, it could strain the newly formed alliance between Konoha and Kumogakure. In response, Minato decided to visit the Hyuga residence, aiming to gather more information and negotiate a resolution. Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. 12. The Hyuga Clan. Published by Scribble Hub. Thank you, Terrence Smith, for becoming a member on Patreon. Shout out to you. Enjoy. On the same day, the high-ranking Konoha members, Minato Namikaze, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Kaharu, visited the Hyuga estate, and the two elders of the Hyuga clan received them in the meeting room of the Hyuga clan. Although the third Hokage has retired, he will still be notified of such important events. As for Danzo, it seemed he played an important role in Orochimaru's defection. After the incident, the three Kages advocated for his removal. Subsequently, Danzo became increasingly reclusive, and his actions remained mysterious. No one knew what the senior members of the Konoha clan were discussing at the Hyuga's house. They only knew that when everyone left, the senior members of the Hyuga clan were very attentive to Minato, wearing grateful expressions. The faces of the third and fourth Hokage remained calm but somewhat angered as they departed. After the incident, Minato met with the remaining members of the Cloud Village Messenger group, and the two sides exchanged opinions regarding the killing of the messenger leader. Unfortunately, they had significant differences. Minato expressed severe condemnation for the kidnapping of the Hyuga head's daughter by Cloud Village envoy, demanded that Cloud provide a reasonable explanation, and rejected Cloud's unreasonable request. The Cloud Village Messenger expressed dissatisfaction with Konoha's actions in covering up the murderer and avoided discussing the kidnapping, claiming it was merely an excuse for Konoha to evade responsibility. Minato stated that Cloud Village was distorting the facts and taking an unfriendly stance, warning Cloud Village envoy not to cause trouble, as Konoha would respond accordingly. The envoy expressed great indignation at Konoha's tough attitude. In the end, the two sides parted unhappily, and the alliance was temporarily put on hold. Following the incident, a small rumor suddenly began to spread. Have you heard? What? Lord Hokage covered up the murderer who killed the Cloud Village Messenger just to please the Hyuga clan. He's already a Hokage, so why would he do something to please a powerful family? Of course, it's the fourth Hokage must be protecting his fellow villagers. Are you jealous because he's powerful, handsome, and popular? How is that possible? I heard it from my nephew's aunt's sister, who's also Kojira's neighbor's cousin. Do you believe such foolish gossip? It's ridiculous. The envoys from other villages must be furious because they failed to kidnap the child. Last time, they did their best to protect the village and seal the Nine Tails. This is the Hokage we should support. In the end, these baseless rumors failed to make any significant impact. Minato's popularity and respect remained intact. The rumors did not cause any trouble. When the person who initiated the rumors learned of their ineffectiveness, he angrily muttered to himself while pounding a stick into the ground. This man was now wearing bandages on his right shoulder and right eye. If Naruto saw him, he would probably quip, I have many scars on my body, but this one hurts. In a private room of the barbecue restaurant, the contemporary trio of Ino Shikacho, Yamanaka Inoichi, Nara Shikaku, and Akamichi Choza were having a meal together. Inoichi picked up his wine glass, raised it, took a sip of sake, and remarked, Minato, the fourth Hokage, won't act too impulsively this time. It might even prevent another war. Shikaku stared intently at the slices of meat on the grill, his mouth full as he chewed, and muttered, what's wrong with that? It's all to protect our village, just like Senior Whitefang did. I hope we never have to witness such sacrifices again. Hey, Choza, you don't have to rush through your meal every time, Inoichi said with a helpless smile. I think Shikaku was right. If we do end up going to war, the power of the Ino Shikacho trio will make a difference. Exactly, Choza as he stroked his chin's mustache. By the way, didn't we have plans to meet an old friend? Inoichi and Shikaku both paused and thought for a moment. You're right, we did. Who was it? Forget it, I can't seem to remember. Anyway, cheers. In the Hataki household, Kakashi sat alone in an empty room with a broken white-toothed dagger placed in front of him. The evening sun cast its rays upon him through the window, creating a distinct line between light and shadow that seemed to divide him in half. After a while, Kakashi murmured, Father, if Minato-sensei had become Hokage back then. Before he could dwell on his thoughts for too long, a loud and enthusiastic voice echoed from a distance. Hey, Kakashi. The sunset today is so beautiful. Let's face it together and have a competition of betting on youth. In the Sarutobi family home, Sarutobi Hiruzen smoked a cigarette while quietly observing the teenagers practicing ninjutsu in the yard. Sarutobi Bawako stepped out of the house, snatched the pipe from him, and said, I told you not to smoke. Don't set a bad example for Tenzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen smirked. I'm used to it. Judging by your gloomy expression, it seems you disagree with Minato's approach. I think he's handling things much better than you did. It's not that. I just believe that Minato has grown significantly in the past few years, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed. If Tobirama-sensei were still here, he would support Minato's approach. All right, it's been a long time since he retired. Let's invite Tenzo in for dinner. Sarutobi Bawako turned and headed back into the house. Tenzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen called softly. Yes, the boy in the yard immediately halted his ninjutsu practice and stood at attention. Tomorrow, come with me to meet Hokage. I'm going to recommend you for Embu. In the future, you'll work hard to protect Konoha. Yes, Hokage-sama. Good lad, let's go have dinner. In the Uchiha clan, inside the living room of the Uchiha house, Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Shisui sat facing each other. Shisui, I've heard that you've been performing exceptionally well in Embu. Shisui of the body flicker. Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. 13. New Year's Festival. Published by Scribble Hub. This is Naruto's third New Year in this world. Looking at Minato and Kushina, who were busy in the kitchen, Naruto suddenly had an idea. I could do it myself without the Spring Festival Shogatsu, Japan's New Year festival. Shogatsu? Kushina stopped her busy work in the kitchen. Yeah, Naruto nodded and explained. It's a show, featuring singing, dancing, skits, magic, ninjutsu, and more so that the entire village can watch and celebrate the old year passing and the new year beginning with lively festivities. Minato also looked over. It's a good idea to use the festival to deepen the relations with villagers and understanding of ninjas and increase their sense of identity with the village. And more importantly, Minato held his chin in thought for a moment and then said happily, I can perform my spiraling flash super round dance hall style 3 and I can bring you to the stage with me, Naruto. Naruto's refusal came from his father's kindness. I decline. The technique, spiraling flash super round dance hall style 3, combines the flying thunder god technique with flash bombs. In battle, it involves throwing flying thunder god kunai and using flash bombs to emit dazzling yellow electric light, creating an illusion of blocking the opponent's line of sight ninjutsu and taking the opportunity to defeat the enemy. Naruto had experienced the flying thunder god technique many times, but it didn't feel good. The instantaneous change of space, rapid scene switching, and the illusion of spatial dislocation made people feel dizzy. In the past, out of curiosity, Naruto had once begged Minato to let him experience the art of the flying thunder god. After the procedure, he felt nauseous and vomited at first, constantly craving sour foods for relief. He slowly got used to it over time, but this technique was different. He knew he must learn it in the future. Minato, who had been rejected by his son to perform on the same stage, was a little disappointed but quickly cheered up. There's not enough time this year for a large-scale social gathering, but we can have our family celebration, a party. Okay, Kushina washed her hands and said, I'll go and get Kakashi first. To Naruto's disappointment, Kakashi wasn't dragged along, but he was pleasantly surprised to see that Kakashi was accompanied by a green-clothed boy with a melon head. I'm back. Excuse me, *2. Sensei. Lord Hokage. Kushina poked her head out of the kitchen. She said, oh, is the guy here, too? Sit down, the last dish will be ready soon. Yes, *2. Naruto casually greeted Kakashi and observed the now 18-year-old youth, a mighty guy. He was very curious about the person who had outdanced the ghost of the Uchiha. Although he had seen odd individuals running upside down in the streets or hopping on one foot, he had never had a close encounter with them. Oh, could it be that you are the son of Hokage-sama? Guy jumped in front of Naruto, bent over, hooked Naruto's shoulder, and said, it's our first meeting. I'll give you a precious gift. Without waiting for Naruto to respond, he produced a green jumpsuit seemingly out of thin air, waved it around, and began to introduce it. This outfit offers excellent breathability and moisture retention. It's designed for perfect shape and beautiful lines, allowing for easy movement. When you wear it, you'll immediately feel the difference and become addicted. This is the secret of Konoha's proud blue beast my guy for becoming stronger. With this show your youth to the world. Guy gave a thumbs up, and a peculiar light shone in his eyes. Kakashi held his forehead, exasperated by this behavior. Naruto also found it hard to look directly at the guy and tugged at the corner of Kushina's clothes. Mom, he's showing his teeth at me. Kushina finally recovered from the guy's antics and rapped Naruto on the head. Naruto, don't be rude. Oh, Naruto rubbed his aching head and took the jumpsuit. Thank you, big brother. Even if he didn't wear it, it would make a great souvenir. If it didn't fit him, he could give it to little Naruto later. It didn't look like it was sized for children. While talking, Minato brought the last dish to the table. Let's eat. The 5 people at the table started eating. Minato occasionally asked Kakashi and the guy some questions. Kakashi replied calmly, while the guy answered enthusiastically and loudly. Kushina occasionally interjected, asking if the two of them had girlfriends. Naruto kept peeking at Kakashi. It had been 3 years, and Naruto had never seen Kakashi's true face. This guy always wore a mask, not even removing it to eat. The mask was swiftly lifted and put back in place, and he continued eating. Naruto wondered if Kakashi had mastered the art of eating without revealing his face, if he had been single for too long, or if he was Guy. Naruto even felt like he could see Kakashi's eating movements clearly with his developed dynamic vision. After a lively meal, the 5 of them set up a small table and some small benches brought snacks, melons, and fruits, and sat in a row in the yard. Naruto walked up to the others and picked up a carrot as a makeshift microphone. Ahem, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Another season of snow drifts by, and another year of growth. The old year has firmly walked away from us. The new year approaches with the dawn of hope. Perhaps our path ahead won't be smooth, and we may face challenges. But we're not afraid, because we'll grow through hard work and progress with high spirits. Minato, Kushina, and Kakashi listened with puzzled expressions on their faces. Although Naruto's speech was eloquent, it seemed quite unusual for a 3-year-old. The only guy was so excited that tears welled up in his eyes, and he danced and shouted, oh. Well said, Naruto. Youth means overcoming all obstacles with hard work and determination. Naruto waved his hand with a smile. The first Konoha New Year's begins now. After the party, Naruto was very excited and felt like he had celebrated the new year with a group of entertainers. Tonight, he witnessed Guy's Konoha Fluid Art Collection performance, Kakashi's Dog Head Earth Release Wall and Chidori, Kushina's special display of various ceiling techniques with cool light effects, and the newly developed Party Package Glitter Dance by Minato. Naruto also sang a bunch of random songs enthusiastically. In the end, Kakashi bid farewell and left. Guy announced that he was going to do a handstand and run around the village. Naruto returned to his bed and fell asleep. Meanwhile, Minato and Kushina lay in bed, unable to sleep. Hey, Minato, didn't Naruto seem a bit unusual today during his performance? It does seem like Naruto has never been as happy as he was today, not even on his 3rd birthday. This child has always been different from other children. He learns quickly, doesn't enjoy playing with his peers, is always curious about strange things, and sometimes behaves like an adult. What Naruto said today in his opening remarks didn't sound like the words of a 3-year-old at all. Yeah, sometimes I even wonder if Naruto pretends to act like a child deliberately. One day, I saw him looking out the window with a distant expression, as if he were sad, or lonely. Is there something this child can't share with his parents? I'll ask him. Don't rush things, Naruto has his reasons. But it's okay, Naruto is our son, let's give him more time. Alright. Naruto was also feeling conflicted. Should he tease the giant fox in front of him, or should he play it safe? Naruto was convinced that he wasn't dreaming, he was in a sealed space. In the dim, dark environment, the water on the ground barely reached his ankles, and in front of him stood a massive iron gate, several tens of meters tall. A colossal orange fox laid by the gate, its eyes just opened and fixed on the young boy. Just as Naruto was pondering what to say, Kyuubi spoke first. Little devil, come here and open the gate. I can't open a gate that big, Naruto made up an excuse. Just tear the piece of paper on the gate. It's too high. I can't reach it, Naruto continued to make excuses. Come here, I can lift you. No, Naruto thought, I trust you, old fox, but you're pretty tricky. Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. Naruto, The New Beginning Greater Than 14, Kurama. Published by Scribble Hub. 14, Kurama. In the sealed space, one small child and one fox stared at each other with wide eyes. Naruto considered that he hadn't employed his mouth evasion skills much and didn't believe he could deceive a 1,000-year-old fox. So, he decided to be straightforward. Big fox, I know you. Kyuubi closed his eyes and ignored him. Of course, the entire Konoha knows me. Everyone calls you the Nine-Tailed Demon Fox. Nine-Tails still didn't harm him. But you have a name, Kurama. Kurama finally opened his eyes and stood up suddenly, his massive head hitting the iron door, making it rattle. How did you know that, stinky brat? Seeing Nine-Tails' excited reaction, Naruto suddenly pondered. Humans are very strange creatures. They will desperately struggle to survive in dangerous situations, but occasionally they want to die in a safe environment. Naruto now felt like he was looking at a beast through a cage in front of Nine-Tails. As everyone knows, the Nine-Tails don't like humans for a reason. Naruto tentatively said, if I were to tell you that I am the reincarnation of a sixth path, would you believe me? Bullshit. Nine-Tails patted the door with a paw to express his anger. Then, would you believe me if I said I'm the reincarnation of Asura? You still know Asura. Nine-Tails was shocked. This kid knows that the sixth path sage can also be understood as having his legend in the ninja world, but the name of Asura is not well known. It's very troublesome to explain. Why don't you just calm down and listen to me slowly? Nine-Tails stared at him for a few seconds and then relented. Speak. Before that, let's get acquainted. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. Hee hee. Naruto showed a big smile. Humph. Nine-Tails turned his head slightly as if he had to squeeze a few words out of his teeth. Continue. Naruto clapped his hands and switched to storytelling mode. Speaking of which, Kagaya Otsutsuki came from outer space, wanting to turn human beings into sacrifice and nourish the divine tree. Fortunately, the two brothers, Hagoromo Otsutsuki and Hamura Otsutsuki, joined forces to seal her. Sometime later, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. was inspired by his youngest son, Asura, to use his creation of all things ability to divide the 10 tails chakra into 9 living entities, what would become the tailed beasts. The sage named the 9 and explained to them that a link existed between them despite their separation. However, a guy from the Senju clan took his brother to capture the tailed beasts and distributed them to the major ninja villages, hoping to balance the strength of the countries through the power of the tailed beasts and achieve peace. So, the tailed beasts lost their freedom one after another. However, things took an unexpected turn. Hashirama didn't expect to be betrayed by his half-brother, Madara, who ran away from the village. Soon after, he passed away. After several wars in the ninja world, peace seemed far away. The tailed beasts that Hashirama originally wanted to use to balance the power of various villages were instead used as weapons of war. These fox all know that, but what interests me is how you know all this. Although there are some unfamiliar words, Nine Tails can generally understand them. Naruto felt he was still in a hurry, and Fox was impatient. Why wasn't he listening? There was no choice, so Naruto had to explain. If I have to say it, it's like seeing it with my own eyes. Many pictures and sounds remain in my memory. To say where it came from, I already knew it from birth. What Naruto said was the truth. I watched the anime in my previous life, and I knew it from birth. Kyuubi generally believed it, mainly because the world did have such an ability. For example, the old toad called Toad Gamamaru in Mount Myoboku can occasionally dream of some fragments about the future. Back then, it was Toad Gamamaru who guided the Sage of the Six Paths to learn Six Paths Senjutsu, a heightened version of the Sage mode to combat Kagaya. Now it's not uncommon for someone who can see the past to appear, but why is this kid? Little devil, what do you want to do? I'm interested in your power. What did you say? I mean, I desire your power. Desire sounds derogatory, doesn't it? Well, maybe from your perspective, you should use that word. Kurama sat and closed his eyes. The amount of information received today was a bit overwhelming. He would observe and consider later to determine if this little devil had any connection with the old man. Anyway, we got to know each other today. I'm going to bed now. Bye-bye, Big Fox. Naruto waved his hand. I am still a child. We can't stay up late. It's important to go to bed early and wake up early for good health. 3 seconds later, Kyuubi opened his eyes again. Why are you still here? Then, how'd I get out? In the end, Naruto left the space. It was the first time he had interacted with the fox spirit, and he was quite satisfied. In the morning, Naruto emerged from his room yawning. Minato was sitting at the dining table, reading the newspaper, and Kushina was preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Good morning, Mom and Dad. Good morning. Go wash up, it's time for breakfast. After Naruto washed up, he sat across from Kushina, took a bite of the poached egg, and said inarticulately, I saw the big fox last night. Minato put away the newspaper and asked with a smile, a fox? Did Naruto have a nightmare? It wasn't a dream, it was the big fox with 9 tails, locked inside the iron cage. Peeved, Kushina spewed a mouthful of milk onto Naruto's face. Naruto wiped his face expressionlessly, staring at Kushina with resentment without speaking. Sorry Naruto, Mom was just too surprised. Kushina turned to look at Minato tilde. I know. Minato checked Naruto's seal under his clothes and said, the seal is intact. That was a standard check. Kushina breathed a sigh of relief, sat up straight, and said seriously, Naruto, next time something like this happens, don't be afraid. Naruto said, we're ninjas, we won't be afraid. That fox is called 9 Tails, one of the 9-tailed beasts. Naruto raised his hand to interrupt her, I know all of this. Since you already know, how do you know? Never mind that you told me when you were pregnant, even if you didn't say. Wait, do you remember what happened before you were born? Yes. Kushina and Minato exchanged glances and asked, how much do you remember? Most of it. For example, my mother once told me about my father's heroic rescue and then what my mother was thinking at that time. Don't go on. Kushina, who was nearly told something embarrassing, blushed like a tomato. Forget everything that comes after that. Forget it. Minato smiled awkwardly beside her, curious about what Kushina had told Naruto. Yes, Naruto said. Kushina was embarrassed. Her son now knows everything. Cough. After finally regaining her composure, Kushina coughed dryly and said seriously, since you know everything, you should also know that as a Jinchuriki, you may feel lonely, sad, and unfair. It's okay if you can be friends with the big fox, that's fine. Be friends with Kyuubi, is that even possible? Why not? He has wisdom, feelings, and a name of his own. The 9 Tails is just a name given by people based on the number of tails. Naruto's words had a profound impact on Minato and Kushina. The prevailing perception of tailed beasts during this period was that they were powerful beasts. Since they were beasts, they should be tamed and used violently rather than being communicated with for peaceful coexistence. Minato thoughtfully said, Naruto. Yes? Do it according to your idea. Okay. Kushina had mixed feelings. She had always assumed she would use her power to control the 9 Tails, and now she was hearing talk about making friends with it. After breakfast, Naruto diligently completed his daily physical exercises, reading, and education. His training had significantly increased compared to a few months ago, and he could feel his progress every day. It was a great feeling to see the results of his hard work paying off. Exercise, study, play during the day, tease the fox at night, and then sleep contentedly. The days were comfortable and fulfilling. It wasn't until a few months later that Naruto's peaceful life became a bit turbulent. Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. Naruto, The New Beginning Greater Than 15, Kimimaro. Published by Scribble Hub. 15, Kimimaro. It was an ordinary day. Kushina had not returned from her mission, and Minato was too busy to come home for lunch. Naruto had lunch at Sasuke's house and, after the meal, shouted, Sasuke, I want you to help me practice. Since Kushina and Makoto had a close relationship and even referred to each other's children as godmothers, the two families knew each other well. So, it was nothing unusual for Naruto to come over for a meal. The two nearly 4-year-old children happily practiced shuriken together, engaging in a friendly practice duel. The result, Sasuke was quite upset about losing. When it came to shuriken and physical strength, Naruto was superior. However, Sasuke's agility and physical endurance were greater than Naruto's, and the exceptional reflexes inherited from Minato ensured that Naruto could barely hold his own against Sasuke. Maybe I should practice more, Naruto thought while thinking about his strength. Sasuke's pouting expression was undeniably cute, and Naruto couldn't help but feel disgusting. Fortunately, Sasuke's mood quickly shifted when Itachi arrived and waved to Sasuke. According to Sasuke's complaint, ever since Oni-chan graduated and became a genin, he hadn't had much time to spend with him. Usually, Itachi would either go on missions with his team or be borrowed by big brother Shisui. Well, it was more like borrowed. Every time they would say, lend us your brother for a while, but Sasuke never agreed. Sasuke was so frustrated that his eyes were practically shooting fire. Now he cherished the time he spent with Itachi. Whenever Itachi appeared, he completely ignored Naruto. Naruto, who's that? Naruto couldn't be bothered to get to know him either, so he simply greeted Itachi and left. Lost in thought, Naruto eventually returned to his residence. I'm back tilde, huh? When he saw the young man sitting in the living room, Naruto felt like his brain wasn't working properly. The man had gray hair, green pupils, and a red dot on each eyebrow. What was going on? The boy stood up as Naruto entered and calmly looked at him. Naruto's back? Kushina had just returned and hadn't even had time to change out of her ninja uniform. She took the boy's hand and introduced, this child's name is Kimimaro, and from now on, he'll be your brother. Brother? Naruto was still in shock. Wasn't Kimimaro kidnapped by Orochimaru and turned into his top henchman, responsible for helping Orochimaru kill the fourth case Kage, Rasa? Why was he here in Konoha now? Yes, that's right, Kimimaro, this is Naruto, so please get along with him. Yes, please take care of me. Kimimaro's tone and expression remained remarkably steady. Hi, Naruto replied hesitantly, his guard up. He wondered if Kimimaro had been sent by Orochimaru to carry out some mission. But then again, Kimimaro appeared to be only 7 or 8 years old and likely didn't possess that kind of strength. Naruto couldn't figure it out. Perhaps he should discuss it with his parents when he has the chance. After all, he had conversed quite a bit with Kyuubi. That evening, Naruto sneaked into his parents' room, closed the door, and wore a serious expression. I have something very important to discuss, and it involves many secrets. Can Mom set up a barrier to prevent eavesdropping? Kushina and Minato exchanged glances and nodded. Soon, a barrier enveloped the entire room. I have memories from a different world here. Naruto provided a summary of Minato and Kushina's original fate, emphasizing Kimimaro's life. As for figures like Pain and Obito, he would discuss them later. For now, he wanted to learn more about Kimimaro's situation. Kushina asked in astonishment, you're saying that Minato and I were supposed to die on the day you were born? And Kimimaro was supposed to be kidnapped by Orochimaru? Yeah, Naruto nodded. Minato added, at that time, I was indeed prepared to use the Reaper Death Seal, if it weren't for Naruto's sudden intervention with the Four-Symbol Seal. In other words, what Naruto had witnessed was likely an alternate potential future. That, Naruto hesitated for a moment. This question, reminiscent of the previous life butterfly dream, had been troubling him for a while. He expressed his inner turmoil. I have so many memories from another life here. Am I still near someone else? Am I truly your son, Naruto? Naruto looked up at his parents with a mix of anxiety and confusion in his eyes. In response, a fist landed on his head. Bang, Naruto was knocked into a crouching position, clutching his head, tears welling up. He looked at Kushina with a pitiful expression. Kushina's hair seemed to move of its own accord, dividing into 9 strands that floated behind her head. Her tone was unusually stern. Listen, Naruto, you are my son, and that will never change. If you ever think otherwise, I'll give you a beating. Even if I have to rise from the dead, I'll come back and give you a good beating. Calm down, Kushina. Minato calmed down the almost berserk Kushina, then gently patted Naruto's head. It hurts, Naruto whined, tears still streaming down his face. Minato gently touched the swelling bump on Naruto's head. Sorry. So, that's been weighing on your mind? Naruto sniffled and nodded. Dad feels the same way as Mom just explained. Minato continued, his hand still on Naruto's head. You are our son. We watched you being born, and we've seen you grow up with our own eyes. We hope you'll become an excellent ninja. On the day you were born, I swore that I, Minato Namikaze, would do everything in my power to protect my family. Not as Hokage, but as a father and a husband. So don't think about it. Naruto lay in his small bed, pondering everything that had happened that night. With his most pressing concern resolved, Minato had also explained to him the backstory of Kimimaro. Konoha's intelligence operatives had detected Orochimaru's presence near the Land of Water. Given Orochimaru's status as an S-rank traitor, they couldn't ignore it. Minato, as Hokage, couldn't personally rush to the Land of Water, as it would be inappropriate. So Minato decided to send Kushina along with the contemporary Ino Shikacho trio. They were accompanied by undercover Anbu for added security. Upon reaching the border of the Land of Water, Yamanaka Inoichi detected Orochimaru's trail, Shikaku set up various traps, and Kushina established a barrier. Unfortunately, despite a fierce battle, all they found at the end was a snakeskin, and Orochimaru himself had vanished. As they were preparing to return, a rebellion erupted in the Land of Water. The Kagaya clan, with their bloodline limit, the clan was mostly killed off when attacking Kirigakure in a failed attempt to show off their ferocity, but they were wiped out, leaving Kimimaro as the sole survivor. By chance, he encountered Konoha's team and was brought back. After a thorough review by various parties in Konoha, it was determined that Kimimaro was not a spy and had no hidden agenda. Kushina proposed to adopt him, knowing that Naruto had always wanted a brother. Minato readily agreed, and the matter was settled. With the assurance that his family was safe, Naruto felt relieved and accepted his new big brother with open arms. After all, having him in their own home was much better than dealing with Orochimaru. Naruto closed his eyes, his mind filled with images of Kushina's fiery red hair and Minato's gentle smile. He murmured to himself, this is great. Support my work and join my Patreon community. By becoming a patron member, you'll get exclusive content and early access to 20 chapters ahead of public release. Your support helps me continue to create and share content that you love. https://www.patreon.com/imxno. Thank you for reading. 16. What is the meaning of life? Published by Scribble Hub. Thank you, Kartik Dagra, for becoming a member on Patreon. Shout out to you. Enjoy. The next day, Naruto, who had shared most of his burdens, was full of energy. Good morning. Kimimaro seemed a bit reserved today. Good morning. Naruto leaned over with a smile and asked, what's wrong? Are you not used to this? No, it's just that I've always been treated as a weapon, imprisoned in a cell, and released only when I needed to fight. Sleeping in a warm and soft bed like yesterday, sitting in a bright and spacious room to eat, receiving meticulous care from others. It's never happened before. So, do you like it? Well, but, what's the meaning? What is the meaning of life? Naruto felt a pain in his head. He hadn't pondered such deep questions at such a young age, spending his days thinking about life and play. No wonder he had been kidnapped by Orochimaru. In my memory, the original characters asked 3 similar questions. The first was Orochimaru, and then the third Hokage explained how a snake shedding its skin symbolized rebirth, which is the meaning of starting a new life. Later, the whole anime, the third Hokage, embraced the symbolism of rebirth. The third Hokage was truly a mentor who could guide wayward apprentices in the ninja world or brainwash them. The second was Itachi Uchiha, and then Orochimaru explained that life had no inherent meaning. If there were any, it would only exist when life was eternal. As a result, 4-year-old Itachi contemplated jumping off a cliff on the spot. He would have perished that day if he hadn't suddenly regained his senses and saved himself. The third one was Kimimaro, and Orochimaru told him that life might not have a predefined meaning, but perhaps he could find interesting things to pursue while living. Just like how you found that flower, and just like how I found you. As a result, Kimimaro's path crossed with Uncle Snake, by chance, shaping his life. Of course, there was also Gaara, who was similar in his willingness to become a tool that would never be discarded simply because he wanted to be needed. The children in this world, even if they were precocious, grew up too fast. Naruto didn't want to mislead Kimimaro as Orochimaru did. After all, they were just children, and they didn't truly understand the meaning of life. So Naruto decided to seek guidance from someone wiser, using the secret technique of summoning his father. Dad, Kimimaro asked what the meaning of life is. Minato and Kushina emerged from the kitchen with breakfast and took their seats. What is the meaning of life? Minato thought for a moment and then smiled. Everyone's answer is different, and you have to discover your answer. For instance, I find meaning in protecting. As a father, I must protect my children. As a husband, I must protect my wife. As Hokage, I must protect the village. These are the purposes that define my life. You're still young, and you can take your time to figure out your own goals. Protection? Kimimaro mumbled. Naruto nudged the still pensive Kimimaro with his elbow and pointed at Minato. How do you feel about us, compared to your previous clan? Kimimaro replied absently, it felt warm. I decided, I must protect the warmth. Kimimaro smiled at Naruto. Kimimaro clenched his fists, thinking about Minato's gentle smile, Naruto's bright smile, and the joyful look on Kushina's face when he looked at them. He made up his mind, I'm willing to dedicate my life to safeguarding such life. Maybe that's the meaning of my life. Alright, the food will get cold, Kushina reminded them. I'll take Kimimaro shopping for clothes and everyday necessities later, and Naruto, you're coming too. Okay. On that day, Naruto came to a profound realization. Shopping with a woman is exhausting, even if that woman is your mother. Why did they have to meticulously choose and inspect everything, picking up, putting down, and haggling? In his previous life, Naruto mostly shopped online. If he couldn't shop online, he'd head straight to the store, look for what he needed, glance at the price tags, and make the purchase. Are men just too simple or women are too complex? After enduring the ordeal, Kimimaro's supplies were fully stocked, and he officially moved into the room next to Naruto's. This also meant that Naruto would have a companion in his future training, and someone to learn basic literacy from. Though Kimimaro was 3 years older than Naruto, he had received little education outside of combat. Minato planned to have Kimimaro study at home for a while before enrolling him in the ninja academy. At night, Naruto lay down in his bed as usual and entered the sealed space. Hey, Big Fox, I'm back. Naruto waved in greeting. Kurama raised an eyelid, glanced at him, then closed it again and said nothing. Give me some kind of reaction.